Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Uncorked Live. We are really happy to be here this April 2023, cleaning everything house, spirit, soul. You're thinking about it.
And we're talking about it, so stay tuned.
Uncorked Live with Karen Glasser and Mel Greenberg, making the most of life's peak stage and sharing it all with you.
And we're back. You know, you said it was April, and I choked. I don't even know how it became April. And
It feels like it was just New Year's Eve. Where did it
it
go?
wasn't. It wasn't. Okay. You know, today we have some exciting news, and we have a new partnership. It's very cool.
We're uncorked, so we've kind of moved into that realm a little bit with this partnership, and we're very excited to bring it on board. It's a fabulous wine family. And I actually am going to turn this segment over to Karen because if you don't know, she spent a good amount of years living up in Napa, making beautiful friendships and professional relationships while she was there. And she is far better suited to discuss this at the level she's going to than I am. But I do have a lot of questions.
I thought you were going to call me a wino or something. So
I would
thank you.
never, not publicly.
So, as we mentioned, we have a new partnership with Hall Family Wines. And anyone that knows anything about Napa, knows anything about wines, knows who Hall Family Wines are. And it's not just one winery, they have three. They have three wineries. Today, we're going to be talking about the Baca Winery, but I want to talk to you just a little bit about Catherine Hall. She is the wife and the owner of the Hall Family Wines. And she's got an amazing story. She started working with her family in Mendocino at their vineyards. And she dreamed about having a place to showcase her fine wines. And so, fast forward, she and her husband Craig created this unrivaled destination in Napa Valley. If you drive down 29, Mel, you're going to see this humongous metal bunny on the road.
I've actually been to the Metal Bunny, and when this all came to fruition, I remember I was talking to you about it, and I had a picture came to my mind, my 50th birthday. A bunch of us converged up there for a week, and we have a great group shot in front of the bunny.
And
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. I mean, and it is. It's this humongous. It's so large you can't miss it
Fabulous.
on the road on the road to Napa. It's really cool, and I love their tagline: "No excuses, no shortcuts." Right?
Can I just tell you that sticks with me on every
Yeah.
level. It applies to everything in our lives. I love it, and it is how they do their business.
They do, absolutely. So we're going to be talking about a wine from Baca, and I'm going to hold it up right now.
It's a beautiful label.
It's beautiful, and everything they do, by the way, Mel, on all other wineries, it has different artwork and different designs and different brands. They do such a great job.
So
And
can I just tell you, I just buy the wines because I like the label.
like the picture.
And I'll get people go, "Oh, this is beautiful wine. It's great. Why, do you enjoy it? Have you liked it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have a good
I
label."
don't know, but it looks nice.
It looks really
It
pretty.
looks nice. But I want you to take a look at this little contraption that I have at the top of the bottle.
Is that to help you not spill it?
Right. But it actually goes on, you put it in the top of the bottle,
Okay.
and it's called an aerator.
Okay, and what exactly is that going to do for us?
Well, when you drink red wine, you want to make sure that it breathes. I'm sure a lot of us have heard that word, let the wine breathe, right?
So I use a decanter
You use
to
it
let it breathe.
exactly.
The same purpose.
Same purpose, because it makes it literally unwraps the taste. It just becomes fuller, and you can taste it. A lot of people will take a sip of their wine, and they'll go, "Oh, it needs to breathe," and then they'll let it sit there for a while, and they'll take another drink, and they'll go, "Oh, it's perfect now."
What you just said was so beautiful, though. I felt the wine when you said it blooms.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because it is a beautiful experience to drink.
It
So
is.
and I feel that with coffee. It's the aromas, and it's actually the experience of feeling it all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to wrap, and you might have seen this in restaurants where the sommelier comes to the table and puts a napkin around or a cloth around it. Do you know why they do that, Mel?
To Well, I know why I would do it, so I don't spill it. But
And that, you know what? That's exactly why they do it. It stops the drips because there's
Mhm.
nothing worse than, especially when you're drinking red wine, to have drips. And I'm trying to put this right in the center here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour, and you're going to notice how slow it comes out. And the
Wow.
reason why it's coming out slow, Mel, is that it literally is going through. See, it's dripping. It's literally going through these little holes that are in here. I
Mhm.
think you can probably see the holes.
Yes, got it.
So that's what happens. So it
So
actually
that
does.
kind of speeds up the process,
Yes,
perhaps? Is
yes, it
that okay,
absolutely
so
does.
that's the benefit of the
Right,
aerator
right.
than just doing it straight.
So let's talk a little bit about the vineyard where these grapes are actually grown. Even though this is a Baca wine, they literally have their grapes growing in Paso Robles. And you and I, when we
Mm,
take our trip up to Napa, we're going to actually be driving through Paso Robles.
we are.
And this is called the Doozy Vineyard.
Okay.
So their families have been planting since 1945. Think about that for a second. How long
Wow.
they've been doing this for 1945, two generations of the Doozy family, and they continue to grow. And one of the interesting things about the wine that's grown here at the Doozy Vineyard is that it is, and I'm going to say this because I had to look this up, dry farmed and head trained vines.
What the heck does that mean?
Well, I did look it up. So
Okay.
dry farming is simply means that they're growing the grapes without having to put extra water in. So they don't have to add water. Whatever it, it
Which
just
is
simply
fabulous for the environment.
totally for their and thinking what's going on here, especially in California with the
Mhm,
droughts and all of
mhm.
that. That's
I
one
love
good
that
thing.
they're very conscientious and thoughtful
Right.
about how they are doing their
Yes. And then head trained, which is such an interesting word. It literally wraps the at the head of the trunk. That's where it comes from.
Mhm.
The spurs and all of those tweedy things that go around. I don't think that's the technical term, tweedy things, but
Probably not.
all the vines that go around. And it only is about a foot off the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you know the benefit of having that so low
I
to the
do
ground?
not actually. I do not know the benefit of that.
So if
Um,
anyone out there does,
Let us know.
send us a note. I would like
Let
to
us
know.
know. In 2021, and that is actually the vintage of this wine that we are drinking right now, or will be
Which
drinking.
we has it breathed long enough?
It
Can we
has
taste? Should we
breathed
wait?
before. Yeah, we're going to wait for one more minute because I
Okay.
want to actually talk about the notes of this, and what that
Okay.
means is that in 2021 there was a very low yield of grapes,
And
and
what is
so
a yield? Explain that.
meaning how many grapes actually grew and they were able to use to create the wine.
So they may have a full vineyard, but not be able to use them all.
Yes,
So
yes,
that would
yes, yes, yes.
increase the low yield.
And
Okay.
because less, it was much more concentrated. And
Mhm.
so you get an even more fuller taste. For me, is really great because, you and I have talked. This is a Zinfandel.
Which I
And
love.
you love, and me, have never not so much. However, I have had the opportunity of tasting this before, and I can't wait to taste it again. This is a really good
Oh, I'm
Zinfandel.
excited. So let
It,
me know when I can,
it,
because I've got this
almost,
glass and it's killing me.
almost. Okay, so we've got. First of all, let's. You want to hold your glass up as
Sure.
well. There, the flavors in here are going to be black cherry and black currant preserve. So I want us to think about that as we go to taste and see if are we actually tasting that.
Okay.
And it's balanced with the right amount of acidity with that wave of freshness. And you're going to notice when you go to taste this, it's almost going to be like a burst of flavor in your mouth at the end.
Ooh, sounds
So
divine.
we're going to actually, we're not, so we're already trying, we're doing things. Do you know that there's actually a right way to taste your wine? And we call them the
You mean
five,
it's not just
you
down it?
can, but it's called the five S's. So are you ready for the five S's?
I am. What's the first one?
So S number one is to look at it. So as we look at the glass, you might notice that there are what look almost like little legs, little droplets that are coming down the sides of the glass.
Okay.
And what color would you say this is? This is like a burgundy?
Maybe more a garnet, not quite as deep as a burgundy, but
Yeah, and I think that goes to being a Zinfandel rather
yeah.
than a
Mhm,
Cabernet, which is
mhm.
obviously my favorite. And number two, and we already started to do this, we swirl. And
So
I'm going
F
to put
number
all of
2.
these things up on the screen. So the first thing that we did is we looked at it
Mhm.
and kind of said, well, what does this look like? And there's little legs and the colors. The second thing that we did is we swirled it. And the
So we
reason why
see
we
it,
swirl it,
swirl it, and why are we swirling it?
well, you want to, let me put the number two
You wanna
up.
see the legs? Is that what you're looking for?
No, you swirl it because you want to let the notes, the aromatic notes, come out. So when you swirl it, it's an additional way of actually aerating this.
Uh-huh, to prepare for number 3, correct?
To prepare for number three. Now, that's sniffing it.
Mm,
And that means to smell it.
favorite.
And you literally put your nose right into it.
Okay, I have to tell you, everyone, I can't do this with a straight face because I picture Robin Williams, who did an amazing bit mocking wine tasting and, you know, there's an air of pretense, or there can be, with
Yes.
the industry
Yes.
and all of it, and he's it's fabulous. I'm not gonna even try and remember it, but look it up because this is what's going
It's
through my
very funny.
head.
Yeah, it is very funny because he uses all these words that really don't go with wine,
You know,
but
like flatulent,
flatulent and it's flaccid and things
dirty
like that.
socks,
You know.
and
But you want to smell it. You put your nose in there and you
mm.
can. What do you smell it when? What are the scents that you're actually smelling?
Well, it's fruity, but not it's like a smoky fruit, so maybe like a black
I think
currant?
that currant. That's like that black
Mhm,
currant, almost like a
mhm.
preserves. It's not.
Oh,
It's a little heavier. I love it. It's
please,
delicious.
please let me
Well,
taste.
no, don't taste yet. We're getting to
Okay.
tasting. So that's step number 4. So now we're going to sip it. So we had see, swirl, sniff, and sip.
And
And
yeah.
when you sip it, go ahead, let's take a little taste.
Well, and we're gonna cheers.
Oh, we have to cheers. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Oh, Karen.
There's a little bit of a bite, but not much. There's a
And
little,
then it just settles. Well, you knew what was coming. I didn't.
yeah,
This
I
is
knew it was coming. And
incredible.
do you
And as you know
feel,
how much I love Zin.
do you feel that burst in your
Mm,
mouth?
I do.
It's
It
like this,
fills
mm,
every corner.
it's really yummy. I have to drink a little bit more.
Mm.
Mm. So good.
What I like, it doesn't hit you head on either. There's a sharpness to it,
Yeah.
but it's a subtle sharpness.
Yep.
And then it just expands and softens. Ooh. Mm.
It's good. It is really
Once
good.
I can finish the show.
And what I really like about number 5 is we're going to savor it and we're going to sit back and we're going to
Mm,
reflect on what we just tasted, which is what we actually just did. And you can't help yourself, right? Because it's so
it is
good.
so good.
It's
Well,
so
and
good.
what I really like is that this vineyard, this company they have all different price points.
Right.
And I love that. And as I earlier said, you know, there can be an air to wine,
Hmm.
and this is accessible. Every price point is available,
Yeah.
and that's wonderful.
And it's all delicious. So, Mel, we got to let people know how they can get this, right? I mean, because we're sitting here and they're probably saying, okay, this is so unfair. You guys
I
are
know.
sitting there drinking.
We're having so much fun. And the really cool thing is that they have given us this incredible promo for y'all. And on the website, you'll see lots of deals and specials. And one is that if you're a new customer, our Uncorked promo code, which you have to use at checkout, entitles you to the 10% off regardless.
Regardless.
You may already be familiar with these, and I rather suspect many of you are.
Hmm.
You will still get the 10% off. So be sure to use that Uncorked promo code in the checkout.
At any of their vineyards. So at
Mhm.
Walt, at Hall Winery, and as well as Baca. So you can go to either or all three if
All
you
three.
want. And they have a couple other things that they're running right now. If you buy 6 bottles, you're going to get $1 shipping. So that's really great because normally, and I just got a shipment, we were laughing, I just got 2 shipments of wine and the cost to ship it is not cheap. So $1,
Oh,
that's a good
it's
deal.
heavy.
Yeah. And
Well, and they pack it so beautifully.
oh yeah, it's great. And then if you are a big, as Mel said, didn't call me a wino, but if you are a wine drinker and you like it, if you spend $500, they will give you 5% off of that as well.
Yeah. So,
So
as I
why for
said
your
when we
friends?
started this, they are new partners, and that's one thing that's coming up in season 3 next year. We are coming back, and some fabulous things on deck.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to just say the $500 I need. So this episode is about clearing space. Spring is about, spring cleaning, getting yourself clear.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to go home and clear a lot of space for all the wine I'm gonna buy.
That's
You
hysterical.
too, right? It's
That's
just
hysterical.
I know.
But that's not the only reason you're going to be clearing space. You're going to be an empty nester again.
Okay. Really? You're gonna go there?
I know. I'm going to go there.
I am. So my youngest son did move into his house last month, and it's a very exciting time for him. But I have to tell you, I took him to Home Goods, and I'm just going to say this: he's colorblind, so
Oh,
I've always had to help him with certain things, and we had so much fun. Start buying and decorating. And when we went in, I said, "This is going to be your new favorite store." And he just had a ball. And as a mom, I mean, to be able to do
right.
this at this time in his life is so much fun. And it's given me the chance to go home now and clear. And truly,
Yeah.
that is, I love it. I mean, it's a little bit of a drug to me, cleaning out cupboards and closets and getting rid of things. It feels so good. I'm not a pack rat, and I have to do things like this when my husband is not around because he is. And I will get rid of things and he'll never know. But if I said I'm going to get rid of it, he will claw and
Yeah.
scream,
Me too.
no, no, no.
Yeah, me too. In fact, the running joke here is I clean up and if I make the mistake of saying, "Do you want this?"
Oh,
He's
don't
going to
ever
say
do that.
yes. And it's a
Yeah,
mistake. So
please
I
don't.
don't ask anymore. I just get rid of all the stuff. And
Yeah,
he doesn't know because it's been sitting there for years. So
I
I'm
know.
all with you in that.
So I have to say this, cleaning, dust, because I keep it okay, I have the worst allergies, and I don't know if y'all are feeling this out there, and I feel like they're getting worse as I'm getting older. I feel like I should be settling in, but this season has been so awful, and my nose will just not stop itching. It's crazy.
Well, they say that when your nose itches,
Somebody's talking about you?
yeah.
I know.
Um,
Probably. It's okay.
Me, I'm talking about you.
Well, thank you.
I'm talking. So we just talked about clearing space in our home, right? And I'm
Yeah.
a minimalist as well, so
Mhm.
I less is more for me. Totally less is
Totally.
more, and I
There's just
live
the
by
2
that.
of you. Do you find that you collect things or
I don't. My husband does.
your husband does?
My husband does.
Penguins. Can
Penguins.
I
There
say
are
I'm
penguins
gonna
everywhere.
use
I
penguins.
don't collect. I collect wine. Does that count?
I collect things, but I don't like I just don't like shit all around.
Yeah.
And I find that I work better, I'm more productive and those channels are clear when there's not. When things clutter up, it I feel it clutter up inside me too.
Yeah, and I have attention deficit disorders, so ADD. So that if when things are not where they're supposed to be, and I get distracted, and that becomes an issue.
Yeah,
So I think by
yeah.
necessity, I keep things really, really clean and clear.
Do you think I truly have felt this and it is I think it's our age. I don't want a lot of stuff around me. I
Yeah,
don't need a lot of things. I want to clear out and simplify,
yeah,
and going through this process 1 or 2 or 3 times a year is
right.
really beneficial, and I find that it means more to me now than it used to in a
Yeah,
different
I
way.
think
How about you?
I think it is an age thing. I think we get to a certain point that we don't need all that stuff. We
Yeah,
know what we need. We get very clear
yeah.
as to what we need, and it's not stuff. It's people. It's relationships,
It's
right?
people I am really sentimental though, and I have things there are things that mean so much to me that I will never part with, and, it just that is what it is, but those things add up too, and you find a way to
Right.
make them fit into your life. But I wanna talk about what that heart because that leads us to heart
Right.
and clearing within our heart, and Karen, we have talked about this, and you've been so open and vulnerable with your journey and Michael's health, and that has had to impact you.
It
And
has.
how what you've gone through, and that was actually a question that we got from our community, and again, please keep sending them in. We appreciate it so much, and it's fun to kind of get to know y'all and your questions. And one of this question was, how do you take care of everyone else in your life and in your circle without losing yourself?
When you figure it out, let me know. I'm kidding.
Okay. It's a
Sort of.
$1,000,000 question.
It is. It's $1,000,000 question, and it's not easy. It's not easy because when it's a loved one that you're taking care of, not just a random person, but it's really a loved one. Like this was my husband. He still
It's
is
your
my
life.
husband. And thank God. Just by the way, he's in remission. We are celebrating.
So
He's getting healthier by the day. But to answer the question, it weighs heavy on your heart when somebody is so ill and you have all those what ifs that are going on and all of those things. And now that he's well, it's like it's lifted. I'm so happy. I am so happy now, and I feel like I have cleared all that stuff that was just heavy on my
like you can
heart.
breathe
I can
again.
breathe.
And you're starting to go out again, and you're
I am.
doing it now, maybe without such trepidation? Are you
Yes,
letting yourself enjoy?
yes. In
You don't have
fact,
to worry about his
I
immunity.
don't have to worry about it anymore. I mean, well, I'm a
I
control
mean,
freak. I'm going to
of
always
course.
worry about it.
Of course you are, but not, oh
Not
my
as not
God.
like it was. We are going out now together. Every day we go out somewhere to get out and start enjoying life again. When we moved here, the pandemic hit, so we literally been housebound for 3 years.
And then he got sick, and then,
And during that time he got sick. So now we're out there, and so my heart is not heavy anymore. It is completely clear. It is awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
I'm so
But that
glad.
leads to our head.
Oh, Jesus.
I call it the itty bitty shitty committee up there that talks and talks and talks and talks, and I cannot shut it up. How about you?
I do shut it up. She doesn't listen. She's got a mind of her own, but I try. But I know I've shared this. I had a therapist once, who said, "Just put your hand up and literally like a stop sign, and when that voice is just ad nauseum, just say, 'Stop. Enough.'"
Mhm.
And that still works for me, but I find now the easiest way for me to shut that voice is to focus on something that truly makes me happy, whether it's my dogs, my family, my garden, something. I walk, and that helps. So
Yeah.
it's not always easy to shut that little shit
It
up.
isn't, especially in the middle of the night. And I get up. I'm a very early riser,
Yeah.
like a very early riser. 4 o'clock is my late time. Sometimes it's earlier than that, and that is because of the talking in the head. And the only thing that stops it, to be honest, is that I get up and I
Oh,
walk out of the bed, and it stops.
do you find, like, because I know, like, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and you're in a dead sleep, and you
Mm,
wake up and you stare at it's like it's almost as if a light has gone on even
yep,
though it hasn't, and you're like,
yep,
"Oh, shit," and everything starts filtering in, and not
yep.
even filtering, just bombarding you, and you can't go to sleep. I will often flip over, and I know you're not supposed to keep your phone by your bed, but I do, and I'll put on Insight Timer, a meditation,
Yep.
and that will help me because I can't. If you can realign or refocus that voice
Right.
and shift its direction, it's very helpful.
Right. I mean, because we are the worst critics of ourselves. I mean, we are so hard on ourselves, and it's all about the mindset. So I know, and I practice this, even though I can be honest and say it still happens, but I do practice it, is getting out of my own head.
Mhm.
And what you put out there is what's going to come back. So if I can
So true.
reframe that crazy that's going on to something that's really positive, in fact, I will get that back.
Well, I find too that I am, because from one perspective, I definitely am better at that, and that has come with aging. I just relax and I don't
Mhm.
care about a lot that I used to obsess about in younger years. But the other side of that coin is that because I'm older, I think I can't do that. I mean, my God, I'm 63. So
Right.
when that voice starts, then I get pretty nasty with her, and just
Does she have a name? You keep saying her. What's her
her.
name?
You know what? She doesn't have a name. Little shit is
Little
really
shit.
what I call you. Little shit. Shut the
She must
up.
know the itty bitty shitty.
They're
She's
friends.
They're friends.
How we connected. We are so aligned.
They are totally friends.
Oh my God. So to that end, it's taking care of yourself mentally. How about your body? Physically?
Yep.
Are,
Yep.
are you seeing differences in how you clear that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I walk a lot now. Now that I'm
Mhm.
not afraid to go outside and do it, I walk, and that always clears my mind. And exercise, and we have an amazing sponsor.
Oh, and that's so even when I don't want to do it,
Yeah,
that's why I love Elaine so much because there's nothing you can't make excuses, no excuses or shortcuts
right,
for her 20-minute workouts. And they
right,
are so fulfilling and beneficial. Yeah, I love it.
right.
Take a look now. She's got a great new offer this month.
Your exercise time is only part of what it takes to make your body strong, lean, and flexible in your 50s. My challenging 20-minute workouts and whole body holistic approach will give you success. I'm a 57-year-old master personal trainer, and I designed these programs for women like us.
I love Elaine. I love the program, and she's got a really cool freebie. It's a 20-minute power yoga with light dumbbells. So go ahead and check out the link that we put into the show copy, and go get your freebie.
Yeah, everybody likes something free. Come on.
Freebies are always good.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm getting in shape for my summer travel.
So Mel, we've been really fortunate. We have people that send us in these questions, and we try to answer them, on the shows. But this one in particular is to you. So here it is. I'm planning a summer trip, and I always take too much. Who relates?
Oh my good Lord. Well,
And
no.
she wants to know. You travel so much, and you just mentioned it.
Mhm.
Can you share some of your secrets?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I would love to. And it's funny because I'm getting ready to go on another trip, and my husband and I were talking on the phone this morning, and he's traveling, and I said, I had packed, and he goes, of course you have, because I'm not leaving for a bit, but that's so one thing I do, and everything I do for me is to make my life and my
Right,
mind and head better
right,
and easy. And so I would first of all encourage you to, honor who you are and do what makes you happy. He packs 3 o'clock the day before we leave, or 3 o'clock in the morning the day we're leaving, it does give me
that
anxiety.
would give me,
That's not good for me,
yeah,
right? But if it might be, then that's what you should do. I pull my clothes. I start maybe 2 weeks before, gathering and putting together outfits, and then I just let them hang, and I kind of live with them and in my closet, and then I do it again. And then the day I'm packing, which is not the day I'm leaving, by the way, I I do it again. So by
right,
the time I've done, I've probably gotten rid of another third of what I started with, and I
right.
really feel that I have done well. And my greatest joy in that aspect is that when I come home, I everything I packed, I wore. That just makes
I love that.
nothing, everything got attention. It
Yeah.
makes me so happy. So that's one.
Hmm.
Another thing that I do that I love is to keep a toiletry bag fully packed and
I love
stocked.
this tip. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, and I've done that for years, and it's just easy. You don't have to worry about it. You can pop it in any suitcase you're taking, add to it as you need, depending on how long you're going to be gone. When I come home from a trip, I immediately refill everything and then just
Right.
put it away. Don't even think about it. So the less I have, you talked about being ADD. I am a bit. I think to some
We all
extent
are.
everyone is,
Right.
but I don't have to think about it. I don't have to,
Right.
it's already done. Oh, that's done. I can just grab and go. And to make things easier when I'm traveling, anything that I can multi-purpose, I love.
Yeah.
And my favorite one, Tommy Bahama bathing suits.
Me
They're
too.
reversible. They have so many styles. They're beautifully, beautifully made. The fabrics, I have some I've had for 20 years.
Yeah, they
I
last
still
forever.
use them, so they're getting a lot of
And
use.
they're reversible. How
I
cool
know.
is that?
So easy. And they're great price point. It's just it's something to look into for
Right.
sure,
Right.
especially with summer travel. You're gonna
Absolutely.
want more than 1 or 2 or 3 bathing suits, and you can have 4 taking 2,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
So easy. Another thing that I do is take a clutch and a dressy, nice leather clutch, and I fill all my electronics in that.
Ah,
So then it has served as a carrying case in my checked baggage, but then also when I get where I'm going, dump everything out and I've got a nice little clutch to take
I
around.
tend
So
to do the same thing. I have this really beautiful leather tote, and it's open on the front, and it has this little magnet thing that goes to keep it shut. And I use it as a carry-on, actually. But if I'm going somewhere that, even though it's leather, but even though if I still use it in the sun and in near the water, I will take it with me to the pool.
that's
Put my
wonderful.
towels and my all that stuff in there. So
Mhm.
I multi-purpose that as well.
Well, my one indulgence in that regard is I have a giant Longchamp folding, or not canvas, it's,
Right.
what the material is. I always pack that because when I travel for things that I gather along the way, I can either use it as the carry-on or it ships very easily. It checks very easily rather. So, and then, the last thing I think is the clothing, the wardrobe choices themselves. And
Right.
that's to keep it as simple as possible. I use one foundation color, typically black or a
Okay.
version thereof, depending on season.
Me too.
And then I'll add a pop of color just that I can throw into whether it's a scarf
Mhm.
or something. I like the Veronica Beard blazers, the Dickie blazers,
Right.
and so I use the different color Dickies, and that's a way to spruce up an outfit really easy.
Changes the look, right?
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
totally different look.
Yeah, so I just, I would urge you just to do everything you can to simplify and scale back, and that kind of goes back to it, just making your life as easy as possible.
You don't want to spend your entire vacation, trying to figure this all out and what should I wear and there's so many clothes. I agree with you 100%. It's so much easier to be small rather than large and have everything go together so that no matter what you pull, it's going to go with the
Yeah, and it is the one area that I'm more organized in than other areas of my life, and I'm a little anal about it, but it makes me really happy. And then I go on my trip and I let everything go and it's easy. So, yeah, I hope I answered your question and you can
Yeah.
certainly reach out to me. Or
And
Karen,
yeah, and guys, we're going to put a link in the show notes. Mel put together this short little ebook that has all of these tips. So click the link, and that way you don't even have to remember. It'll be all written down. Go take a look.
So I just want to throw in a little bit off this wine. We're well into this show now, and it is a beautiful flower. It
The
just keeps
bouquet.
blooming.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Oh,
Cheers.
love it. Cheers. Mm. I think to sit back and enjoy this is a beautiful thing that we have this opportunity. And Karen, there's so many different opportunities that you get in your life and your line of work. And one, you just interviewed an amazing
Oh, yes.
young man, and you're going to share that with us.
He is. His name is Hal Elrod. And we've talked about this book before. It's called The Miracle Morning, The 6 Habits That Will Transform Your Life Before 8 a.m. And what makes me laugh about this is he does this whole thing. You really need to get up by 5. And I'm like, oh, do I get to sleep till 5 then?
That's
I'm
something
already
new
up.
for you.
I have been doing this for years and years and years because it's simple. There are 6 steps and I love it. And so I had the opportunity. I was so fortunate to interview him on one of my shows, and he is delightful. This guy is so funny. We laughed through almost the entire interview, but his story is fascinating. So take a listen.
I'm wholesome. The public, my readers, my fans, everyone thinks that I'm wholesome. When I'm interviewed, they will always say, Hal, you would probably never do this, but let me just ask you, or this or that. And I think what it is they confuse being polite with being wholesome. What I mean is, behind closed doors, I love to use the F word. I love to use the F word. I use it all the time, right? But in public, I'm just polite. I don't talk to my grandma that way, and I have a lot of grandmas in my audience, so I'm very polite with them.
The question today is, can you change the direction of your life? So first, let's just kick this off by asking you, Hal. I mean, you've got an amazing story that actually comes before the book, The Miracle Morning, how it all happened. So briefly, let's just talk a little bit about your story. How did this come about?
Yeah, I always say it's a result of 3 rock bottoms. And if to define what a rock bottom is so everybody can relate, we've all had them. In fact, we've had many of them and more of them are on the way, not to depress anybody. But a rock bottom is simply a moment in your life where you experience adversity at a level you've never experienced before. So when you're a kid, your rock bottoms are very different than when you're a teen. And then when you're in your 20s and 30s, we go through financial rock bottoms, relational rock bottoms, you name it. And my first big rock bottom came when I was 19 years old. I was driving home from a sales meeting I had given a speech at, and I was driving a white Ford Mustang, and I was hit head on by a drunk driver at 70 miles per hour. I spun off the drunk driver, and the car behind me crashed into my driver's side door at 70 miles per hour, and instantaneously the left side of my body was crushed inside the car. I broke 11 bones. My femur broke in half. I broke my pelvis, and I was found dead at the scene. I died for 6 minutes in a coma for 6 days and was told I would never walk again. And that set me on a path to go, maybe I'm meant to do more than just sell products. Maybe I'm meant to actually help people by overcoming my challenges and sharing with them how to overcome theirs. And then when the US economy crashed in 2008, my second big rock bottom happened, and that's where I lost everything. I lost my house. I lost my income. I went deep in debt. I got depressed. My body fat tripled. And that's what led to me discovering the power of morning rituals. And I decided I wanted to create the ultimate morning ritual. I wanted to create the best of the best so I could change my life as fast as possible. And I created this thing called the Miracle Morning. It wasn't a book idea. It wasn't a book title. And within 2 months, I doubled my income. I went from being in the worst shape of my life physically to training for a 52-mile ultra marathon. I wasn't a runner, but I decided that would help me to get out of my comfort zone and become a better version of myself. And you mentioned, I never thought it would be a book, but I decided I had a responsibility to share it with the world. And now, as you said, there's 500,000 people do this every day, and it's just,
it's wild. It's wild. I'm sure beyond your wildest imagination.
Wow, I am on it to get this book. What an incredible young man.
Isn't his story unbelievable?
Yeah.
Really unbelievable. And he really is very motivating. And if he can do it, I can do it kind of things. Take your phone out, scan this, you can go pick up a copy. Let me give you some background on this, though. This guy is, really unbelievable. This book was written in 37 languages. Over 3.5 million copies have sold worldwide. And it's practiced by, you want to guess how many countries? 100 countries.
Wow.
So I think it's a good book.
Yeah, a little bit. I love his genuine heart. He is who he is. He's beautiful.
He really is. He really is.
Yeah.
Each time we talk about this, about our barrel list, again, there's a theme here, the wine and the barrel and all that. And we do have a barrel list, and it's some of our favorite things. So if you go there, you're gonna check out the wine that we love, and we have some other really cool things in there that we promote as well. And you can get it by going to the Uncorked Live barrel list. And again, take your phone out. Just leave it out right now. I'm going to throw up a bunch of QR codes. Just leave it out. You can, in fact, take a picture of us. And I want to talk a little bit about the Uncorked playlist that is on Spotify, because Mel spends time making sure that we get all the really great songs on this list. I have it playing all day long. I know you do too, right?
Yeah, and it's been fun right now because we're popping into festival season, and there's so much good new music out there.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff. The other thing is you can see us everywhere, right? You can see us on Spotify and YouTube and social and Roku and Amazon. We're everywhere. But we want you to go subscribe. Go over to Spotify and subscribe, because when you do that, you're going to get a notification that a new show is out. And if you don't want to do Spotify, go over to YouTube, because the same thing over there, subscribe. You'll get a notification.
And very exciting, another new announcement. We have a broadcast channel on Instagram. They just started this new program, and we were offered the opportunity to hop on board there, and it's really fun. And subscribing will get you, you'll be in the know and in the get before everybody else.
And we do have some really cool things that are coming up, so you don't want to miss out on that. So guys, don't forget to check out Baca, the year 2021 Double Dutch. It's one of their very, very most popular wines that they do. It's $35. But wait, make sure you use the promo code Uncorked, and you're going to get 10% off, whether it's now or later, no matter what.
And whether it's the Baca or any of the
Any
other
other
Hall
wines.
Family Vineyard wines.
Yes, any
It's
of the
good
Hall
for
Family
you.
Vineyard wines.
From here to forever, which is fabulous.
Forever.
That promo code Uncorked. You know, Karen, this has been a really fun show. I think that so many changes come in the spring. I love it, and I love the new beginnings, and I love the thought of blooming the wine. I kind of feel like I bloom this time of year, just sort of opening from the winter, closing. You know, we're ready for a rebirth, so to speak. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. You know, you have a lot of choices to how you spend your time. And we have a really fun time preparing all these things, and we're glad that you enjoy it. Enjoy your day, enjoy your month, enjoy your April. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
This is your time. Make the most of it.